YouTube found a community, Lovin Spoonful fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the Lovin Spoonful's last album, Revolution 69, released through Kama Sutra MGM Records in 1969. This is their last album as a full band, and by this point, it's barely the Lovin Spoonful. It's two of the original guys. Jerry Yester had joined at this point, and Joe Butler had taken over as the lead vocalist and mostly songwriter as well. After John Sebastian had left in 1968 and Zal had left in 1967, late 67, early 68. So at this point, the drummer Joe Butler, who has a great voice, took over kind of as the frontman after John left, and they put out this album, and it's sad because this album could have been so much more than what it is. And I went into it knowing it wasn't going to be a John Sebastian album, because I love that era of them, like Daydream, Do You Believe in Magic? I mean, their album, The Hums of the Lovin Spoonful, those albums are absolute knockout classics. And so I went into this knowing it would be different. And the first track was very misleading because I loved it. So, Amazing Air. I really wish this was a A-side single. I think it was a B-side. It should have been the single for this album. I think it would have done something for them. Really great sweeping strings, excellent passionate lead vocal from Joe. Overall, just a very interesting track. The background vocals are great. The song itself is very unloving Spoonful, which is okay because it's a different band. It's just, with this name. So it's one of those things you kind of have to accept what's happening here. I forgot to mention it's a DJ copy, so it's in really good shape, which is pretty cool. Never Going Back was a single from late 1968, hit number 73, and this is actually a really decent song, and you can almost see John Sebastian sing in this one, but Joe does a fantastic job. Steady vocal, really nails it, nice country flavor, it's catchy, it's fun, it's a little bit of an earworm, so not bad. I can see why it only hit number 73. It's not a knockout of a single, but it's still decent. So pretty cool. Then you get The Prophet, which is a bit slow, kind of plugs along, not very upbeat. It's still an interesting track, but for me, it just didn't really do anything for me. And then that's where things start to get a little bit downhill for me. And I know if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a pretty positive person. I look for the greatness in every piece of music that I review. I look for the best that I can. And with this album, I had a really hard time, and I was very let down by that feeling. So, particularly because I love the Lovin Spoonful. They're one of my favorite bands. And I had never heard this album before until recently. I heard bits and pieces of it. I never heard the whole thing through. And I finally found this copy of it because I'd seen it before. It was always in beat up shape. So I found this one and I was like, all right, let's do it. Bendigo Only Yesterday, which is a pleasant little song, but it's just okay. It's sleepy. It's kind of not so catchy. I like the bass line, and I think the bass line's pretty good, but that's kind of about it. And then you get War Games, which is kind of like their Revolution 9, if you will. It's like a pastiche collage of sounds and ideas and sound effects and songs kind of combined together to be an anti-war kind of statement, which I respect completely. But to have a song, it goes through the life of a human. And so it starts off with a baby screaming and crying, which is the worst thing to hear on an album. That is the last thing I want to hear. Like that song, My World Fell Down by Sagittarius with a baby crying in it. I hate that part. The rest of the song is great, but that part sucks. No one wants to hear a baby crying. It's awful. So you hear that, there's a heartbeat the whole time, that's to signify the life is happening, then the kid grows up, he goes to school, he gets married, he goes off to war, they recite the Pledge of Allegiance. It's just boring. And I really don't want to use that word. I don't like saying negative things about music, but for me, this song just did absolutely zero for me, because, well, it's not a song, it's a collage, it's an idea, it's a piece of art, I get it, it's subjective, but for me, it was just 7 minutes of vinyl that could have been used for something else. And maybe that sounds a bit rough, but could not get into it. Side 2 starts off with Till I Run With You, which was the original name of the album, which is why Joe and this model, I'm not sure who she is, are running alongside a photoshopped lion. Yeah, so it was the original name of the album. This single came out and it was a complete flop. It did nothing, which is probably why they changed the name of the album to something else. So get away from that. um, it's got some really great horns in this thing. It's kind of funky. It's got good background vocals. It has the marks of a top 40 song. Definitely not a number one hit, but it's a really good song. It would have been a decent charter, but it didn't chart at all. So who knows if there was like lack of promotion there or what was going on at the Department of Kama Sutra. But, still, it's a decent track. But it kind of fizzles out at the end. It has so much momentum that it kind of just dissolves away. Jug of Wine is the second track here. Kind of moody, sleepy lead vocal from Joe. The song just doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't pick up any steam. Then you get Revolution 69, the title track here. And here we go. There's some energy. There's a spark. It's a rockin' lead vocal, pounding piano, great hi-hat and drum work. It's a total jam. This is a really fun song. Obviously, it sounds nothing like the Lovin Spoonful, but it's a really good song just in general. Nice fun track. Then you get Me About You, which actually was the last single from the album, hit number 91. And I don't know why this was a single, because Amazing Air was the B-side, and Amazing Air should have been the A-side, because that song actually goes somewhere, and it's actually very interesting to listen to. This one is just another sleepy, go-nowhere song with that military drum roll the whole time. It just doesn't do anything for me. Kind of a snoozer. And then the last song, Words, could have been a better choice for a single. Again, there's some punch to it, decent lyrics, it's well sung. It's not super exciting, of course, but it's it's missing some exciting blasts of percussion or acoustic guitar or electric guitar. It needs something to kind of spiff it up a little bit. It's kind of safe, if you will. So, overall, this album is just kind of directionless. It doesn't really have a point. It doesn't really have and not every album has to have a theme, but, it's a weird bag of, old-timey love songs and then, hardcore anti-war collage rock. It's a very mixed bag. It's kind of all over the place. And, like I said earlier, I went into this completely not expecting the Lovin Spoonful that I know and love. I knew it was going to be a different animal, and that's fine. I'm not going to compare it to the older stuff. I'm just reviewing it for what it is. It could have been a Joe Butler solo album with Steve Boone on it. Steve plays bass. Because there's really not much going on here that resembles anything Lovin Spoonful or anything of their past or anything of what their future could have been like. It sounds like a contractual obligation to finish a contract and get out of it and then be done. Half the album is pretty alright and half the album is pretty not alright. The syrupy, romantic, sort of boring songs next to these big political rockers is a very strange juxtaposition. You have to wonder how this got past the heads at MGM thinking okay, we could put this on a market this, who's going to buy this? No one did. It didn't chart at all, unfortunately. I hate being negative about music. I really do. If you see my videos, I look for as much positivity as I can. I was done with this album, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth of this was their way out. This was the last thing that says the Lovin Spoonful on it. Ugh. There's Joe hanging out in the grass in the back. And the back cover is hard to read down here where the songs are because of the way the picture is. The shadows of the blades of grass, it's just kind of hard to read what's going on there. The album cover is cool. It's a very high-octane picture watching them run. The girl here, I can't tell if she's wearing a bodysuit or if they photoshopped out her nipples. I can't tell, but yeah, very interesting picture. I wonder where that lion came from. I don't know. Let me show you the label here. And it's funny because when you pull it out, you get this. A picture of the good days. Oh yeah, remember these albums? Yeah, that's the Lovin Spoonful you want to listen to. But this is pretty cool. It actually does say not for sale, special disc jockey record at the top. Let me see if I can get that in the light there. I think you can see that pretty well. And it repeats the same thing on the second side. Which is also funny, which I'm just now realizing. Holy crap. It says "Till I Run With You." Wow, I just realized that. Look at that. "Till I Run With You." Huh. It doesn't say Revelation 69. That's blowing my mind. How did I not even notice that before? Wow. I'll have to check and see. I remember reading, I think all the promo copies were pressed up with that name, but not the jackets. I don't think the jackets were done that way. Wow. All right, well, as far as the collector's item goes, that's cool. So, I mean, I'm going to hang on to this thing. I'm never going to get rid of it because it's just a part of my collection. And, you know, you never know. A year or two from now, I can re-review this for my Spin It Again series and see what happens. I might like it more in a couple of years. That's the great thing about music, and that's the great thing about growing up, is that your tastes change and things change with you. So, who knows? But as of right now, this is my least favorite Lovin Spoonful album I've ever heard. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, man. If I had to give it a rating, honestly, it's gonna get like a 3 out of 10. It's very low on my radar to ever listen to ever again. I will do some more research to see like how many copies were printed with that "Till I Run With You" label. That's pretty cool. But beyond that, not essential. You know, give it a listen, see what you think. Let me know what you think. Very curious to hear your thoughts about this one. The Lovin Spoonful featuring Joe Butler, Revolution 69. My name is Giggens. This has been the Lovin Spoonful. Sorry, Joe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.